Good afternoon. Right, starting my Roxy's Journal of Stitchery thing. I sorry, just grab my box. I don't know if you saw the video. Most people did. This is my width of my spool. Now, it's not quite as wide as that. Not far off, but I want it to be able to come out of here easily. So I've literally cut it to that size, and I don't know what size that is. Let me grab something with inches on, and I can tell you it's not very big. It's only about 3 3/4 inches, but that's what I need for it to work. So that will stay inside. Yeah, that'll be fine. Okay, let's put that back where I'll find it. So we got to do a wildflower now. I'm doing primroses. 2 reasons. They're absolutely prolific in Devon. We have literally whole hillsides when they're in flower full of primroses. They used to be under threat, but they've really come back, and they used to be my mum's favourite flower, so do it for me mum. Now she's no longer around, bless her. Right, yeah, I've got all sorts going on here. I've started a little basket of stuff basically, and I've just been pulling things out, so yeah, just making a start. Now the other thing I've been procrastinating about is, do I have it that way or do I have it that way? Because I'm thinking when you put it out of the box, you're going to pull it and you want it. Doesn't really matter, does it? Does it? I don't know. I can't make a flipping decision now. Right, let's I just realised I need to start that way anyway. I think I'm going to go sideways. Now the paint, whatever you want to call it, on here is I've been mucking around with my Cosmic Shimmers. Got to do that for Junk Journal January tomorrow, so I thought I'd just mess around with some and see what I can do. And I made it so wet that I used this to mop it up, and it's given it a really nice background, just meant to be. I don't think I'm going to leave anything on the end, because I think what I'll do is I'll stitch something to my cotton reel, my fake cotton reel, and then I'll stitch this to that, so I haven't got to worry about leaving anything on the end basically. I'm probably not going to get a lot done in this one. I just want to get a bit of background. I'm sort of working on... Oh, this is... When my dad came down at Christmas, he bought a load of old linens out of my mum's airing cupboard, basically. He's just clearing out stuff. And in it was... I can only describe it as a fabric mattress cover, basically. It smelled really musty, super musty, so I had to give it a couple of washes. And I've literally taken strips of it, and but it's the most loveliest ancient cotton stuff, so yeah, it's going to be perfect. I've got one piece here which is, I think it's about 2 meters long, because I literally ripped the whole length. So let me just sort of show you. So that's it in half, that's it in quarters. I think it's about 1 meter, if not 2. I don't know, I didn't measure it. Anyway, I've got a length. That's all I'm going to say. Right, so we'll start here. And then I've got another piece on standby, which again I use to mop up and what have you. Yeah, so it's almost the same size. I would think I'd just have to take a little... No, I think it is about the right size, right. So I've got a standby if I need to make more. Now I can't go too big or too fat with it, because I've got a horrible feeling it's going to get to the point where I can't get it in my box. So what I might have to do is do a little one for the box and then have a giant one somewhere else. I don't know. We'll see what happens. I really can't decide which way. If I do it that way, it's not going to be very big plants, are they? See, if I do it that way, I can make them bigger. Oh, I think that way. Because I want them to be, I want to do about sort of 6 inches each time. Is that about 6 inches? Stop putting your ruler away. Yeah, so about there, about 6 inches each time. And that way I can get a decent sized flower. Yep, talk myself into that one. Okay, right, let's do a little bit of background. I'm going to stand that up there. Quite handily, I have Field Guide to the Wildflowers of Britain. I don't suppose we're going to be always doing wildflowers, but I've actually robbed the cover off of it, poor thing. So it's completely free and loose. But yeah, it's a really nice book actually. It's got a lot of really nice flowers in there. So it's going to be quite handy as we're doing... well, this particular prompt is the wildflowers. Right, enough rambling. Let's get going. Right, so these are some bits that I picked up in a charity shop bag for 99p. Now the only worry I've got is they're Scotch guarded. Is that going to make it super hard to stitch through? That is my only worry. Let me grab a needle. Come here. Ugh. Right. Probably be a needle about that side. Oh, that is stiff. I might have to... I didn't realise I'd picked up the Scotch guarded one. This one's alright, that one's going to be far too thick. Even in a... don't know, because this is super thin and fine. But I really would like this dark. I'm going to risk it. Okay, let's just do some. I don't want pink in it. I want greens. What we got here? Yeah, you can see they're old samples because that's the hole where it was in the sample book. Right. Let's start ripping. I'm not worried about the hole, that's fine. Now the other thing, I can't go outside of my parameters there. It does not want to rip at all. This could be a bad decision to stick this on, but never mind. Yeah, I really want a bit of that. Might be alright. Because the reason I'm sort of sorry, I'm going away. The reason I want to do sort of greens is because wherever I see primroses, 9 times out of 10 they're in like grassy banks. So I want to more or less a sort of a plain green background, if you like. Well, not plain, but you know. And I'm going to use some of my weird and wacky thread from. Not thread, this stuff from Steph Francis, because I think that'll look pretty cool. So just at the moment I just want the greens. It's going to fray like mad, I know it is, but never mind. Tons of it. Is there any other greens in there? It's a bit blue. That's the same one. No, okay. Right, let's put you over there. And the other thing I did, my hands are not green anymore. I dyed this morning. It is like a cheeseclothy stuff. And I dyed it with a green soap. I make soaps, as I've probably told you before, and it was the soap colouring, but it didn't go green enough, so I did spray it with a bit of Tim Holtz's sprays, but it's kind of gone a bit weird, but I thought it'd be okay. We'll just use it as, and I don't think this stuff tears. Oh yes it does, I lie. Yeah, it's just some, I can't remember, it's like a cheeseclothy stuff. I've got it in my shop basically. I was cutting some off for a customer the other day and I thought, oh, that will work well for this, for making grassy bits or whatever, really. Yeah, this is just going to be a nightmare, isn't it? Already getting covered. Now I'm keeping a jar. There it is, a jar of bits. I'm gonna preempt that and just fray that, because yeah, because that's happening. Just trying to think what I'm really tempted to do with those. I've got a beautiful primrose yellow felt. I'm really tempted to do felt flowers, which would kind of work over the top of this stuff, wouldn't it? Because I think it's going to be quite hard to stitch. I watched Rachel when she was prepping hers, and I thought, you know, she's going to be stitching over a lot of lace and stuff like that. I don't know. It might be alright. We can give it a go, can't we? I'm a little bit lost here, sorry. I don't quite know what I'm doing yet. I'll get my head around it soon. You're going to tear. Nope. Okay. Anything that goes kind of bonkers like that, I'm just going to leave it. That's what nice bit of texture there. One thing I didn't get out was any lace, actually. Right. Okay, I think I'm happy with that. So I'll hum and har about the felt. I just think it'll look really nice in felt. In which case, I'm just going to do it. Okay. Mind you, sorry, just looking over here, it's a bit too bright yellow. They would have been perfect otherwise. Okay. Right. I've lost my needle book. There you are. Just get my little applique pins out. Stitch that down. I think I might do is it canthus stitch, the one where you go up and down and across, because I think that will give it a really nice background then. Yeah, I will. You guys are going to get lost. Just remind me where I've put them. Should be alright. Yeah, and then I can really, you know, shrug these up into some nice texture. And now I need to get some lace, don't I? Never thought to dye any lace. Come here. Right. We'll see if we can find those when I do the stitching. Okay. Right, I'm just going to get a needle and stuff ready because I forgot to do that. I'm going to make sure that you were actually in screen. Not really, sorry. Kinda. I'll be back in a bit. Right, I'm really sorry, I've galloped on. My daughter rang, which cut out the video, and I was stitching while she was talking to me, completely forgetting you guys. Anyway, there we are. So I have done, is it borrow stitching? I started out with this Steph Francis thread, which is beautiful, but it was a bit thick for what I wanted it to do, so I just switched back to normal DMC thread here. I don't know what number that is because I've lost the wrapper for it. So there we are, it's all stitched down, it's all nice and hairy, which I was really pleased about. I've stuck a bulldog clip there because it was all dragging on the floor and I didn't want it getting all yucky. I'm going to leave that bit loose so that the next bit I can tuck under. So now I went through my laces and I found this really micro yellow lace, and I think I'm going to put it down the side there because that'll be really nice with the primroses. And then whilst I was in my box, I pulled out some of this stuff. I'm going to dye that a nice dark green, or you know, ish. And then I found this. I'm not going to use it on this one, but I think that's green enough to get away with. Yeah, and that came off of a sort of a blousey top, so I'll keep that out. I've got my little, I'll stick it in my pot with all the other stuff. Right. I'm so sorry. She was yabbering away and I was stitching and I thought, oh, you're not filming. Oh. Anyway, never mind. I know you'll forgive me. I'm not actually going to do the flower in this video. I'm just going to get in the background done. And yeah, that's as far as I'm going to go with this. Didn't put a knot in that, did I? Yeah, on this video. And then I'll think about whether I want to do a felt primrose, or I don't know whether I'll stitch one. Don't know. I will let you know. You'll see it. So I'm just gonna kind of stitch this on here. Yes, yabbering away. I often say to her, do you know how lucky you are having your mum literally down the road from you? I'd have loved to have lived closer to my mum, but they lived in London. Well, my dad still does, but they lived in London and we were down here because the girl's dad was in the Navy, and it's a lot of its based in Plymouth, which is not far away, basically. Yeah, I'd have loved that, just to, especially when he was away, because he would go away for like 6-8 months at a time. I thought, oh, it'd be so nice to just pop down the road and see me mum. But we used to go down at weekends. I'd drive all the way to London with the kids in the car, pick them up from school on a Friday afternoon, dogs in the car, just drive down. That was in the days before, you know, petrol was ridiculously expensive. Could afford to do it. Drive back on a Sunday, get all the school uniform washed. Well, no, my mum used to do it while we were up there, so they were all fresh and ready for school Monday morning. So, oh, those were the days. I had a great big estate car, so I just chucked everything in it. I always remember one Christmas he was going to be away, and it meant getting all the presents and everything in the car. Oh, it was a nightmare because I had 2 big dogs. I had a Labrador and an Alsatian back in those days. So I say luckily it had a massive boot. I made like a fake shelf, put all the presents underneath it, and then made the dogs' beds on top of it. So when we got to London, we just got all out sort of thing. And once the kids had gone to bed, I went and got all the presents out. So all the things you do. Yeah, you can see the stitching on the back there. It went a little bit wonky there. I don't quite know what happened. I don't know whether I didn't quite go through to the back, but that's fine. I just needed it to hold on the fabrics, which is exactly what it's doing. So yeah, so that's it so far. Let me see what you can see. Get you up a little bit closer. So yeah, it's hairy, it's stitchy, and then as I say, I will decide whether I'm going to do the felt ones, or let me just grab the book. See, as I say, I have got a felt exactly that colour, so it is blooming tempting to cut a load of leaves and do that, but I will think about it. Right, I shall leave this one for now, and I will catch you up when I made the decision. And yeah, we've started. Hurrah! Such fun. I need to go through my stash and pick out Those fabrics were quite thick. I think they're going to be not useful for what I need them. So I'm going to go through my stash and pull out thinner cottons, I think, and work with those instead. I think that'll be a lot easier. And I'm going to sort out this bird nest that I ended up with there. All right, I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye.